You've probably seen these images before. A corridor that leads nowhere, a shopping mall frozen in time, an empty office building. But you've never been there. Though sometimes I could swear that I have seen similar scenery in a dream. The locations are trapped between a past purpose and an uncertain future. Not quite abandoned, not quite alive. This is called a liminal space. Liminal derives from the Latin word limen, meaning threshold, something between two defined states. In physical terms, it's a place meant for a transition, whether that be stairwells, waiting rooms, gas stations, or empty airports. These places were never meant to hold you, and yet when you see them frozen in time, something feels familiar. When you see them suspended in a photo, stripped of people and noise, it feels wrong. You start to wonder why you'd ever be there. Yet you stay, looking at the image, the place, completely alone. A supermarket with no customers, a playground under overcast skies, a school hallway during summer break. They're all functional places, but that function is missing the moment you experience them. As soon as you take away the reason for their function, it doesn't feel right. They feel detached from time, stripped of context, and unfinished. There is no direct threat in these places. No sound, no entities, no purpose. But your brain still reacts. What is going on psychologically? We have learned to understand places in terms of function and presence. A classroom is where students are. A lobby is where people wait. A bus terminal is where people wait for the bus. But as soon as you remove those functions, the structure begins to collapse. Emotionally, not physically. What's left is a shell without a snail to protect. It doesn't fit into a model, it just is. And that's where we struggle. Few artists capture the stillness and beauty of liminal space quite like the Japanese painter Hiroshi Nagai. His sunlit beaches, empty roads, and still pools feel almost too perfect. They're scenes you can imagine yourself in. It's as if time stopped 5 minutes before you arrived, and you're free to explore. Nagai's style blends pop art clarity with surreal calm. His skies are impossibly blue, his streets stretch on with no end, and people are nowhere to be seen. There are only hints of people based on the objects that are in the world, such as the cars and the lawn chairs, but I don't believe anyone is there. No one belongs in that world. It's just a frozen memory. It almost feels as if you were transported into a world in which you were the last person on Earth. You're in between a world that is his and at the same time yours. The internet has amplified this concept massively. YouTube channels, TikToks, Instagram pages, Reddit threads like r/LiminalSpace, all filled with grainy, low-lit photos of parking garages, locker rooms, daycare centers with no children. Most are real, some are digital recreations, but all evoke a similar feeling. You don't need text. The feeling is universal. No story is required. In a way, liminal spaces are interactive, not just in the way a video game is. They don't give you input. They give you silence. Most media doesn't do that. In a world of almost unlimited, overstimulating content, fast edits, loud sound design, predictable arcs, it's all designed to hold short-term attention, short-term pleasure. You can scroll past 100 clips in a day and remember none of them. It's noise that disappears the moment it stops playing, but liminal places can stay. They survive the algorithm. They linger because they don't resolve. And that's just what makes them so beautiful. In these places, there's no natural progression, no cues about what happened here before or what will happen after. Most of the time, they feel like they exist in a continuous present, static, on loop. Some theorists compare it to dead time, a concept used in surveillance and logistics. Dead time is the space between scheduled actions, the downtime, the pause. In liminal environments, the setting is dead time, an endless loop of in-between. This is why old 3D game environments often evoke the same feeling, especially when played out of bounds or when the code fails to populate the world properly. You're left with strange architecture without a narrative. They usually try to keep you from going out of bounds in the first place. In GTA 5, they use a shark. Swim too far from land and get eaten by a great white shark, ending your exploration. Other games get more abstract. In Super Mario 64, the endless staircase loops forever until you have the right number of stars. In Pokemon, invisible NPC blocks your way with a simple "you can't go there yet." Elden Ring hides distant lands behind swirling fog and twisted geometry, not because the world ends, but because the game doesn't want you to see how empty it is without context. And that's the point. You start to wonder, what are they hiding? What's behind the wall? Probably nothing. But the act of being blocked is enough to invoke curiosity. There's something unsettling about knowing a space exists in code but not in design. A space that's technically there, just not meant for you. Players have found entire rooms left abandoned in game files, textures with no purpose, corridors that go nowhere. Developers usually call them leftovers, test zones, or debug rooms, but when you find one, even by accident, it feels forbidden. Out-of-bounds spaces in games echo the same psychological response as real-world liminal spaces. When I was around 8, my family took a vacation to Thailand. We stayed near a resort in Phuket, an area carved out almost entirely for the tourist economy. Resorts walled off from the authentic towns. One afternoon, we went to a mall, somewhere just beyond the resort perimeter. I don't remember the name. I couldn't find it again. In Thailand, malls often have these indoor playgrounds, big, colorful installations tucked between the food courts and brand stores, something to keep children occupied while the parents can be undisturbed. Like the massages, the tuk-tuk rides, the night markets are all built to feel local. These playgrounds are just another service. This particular mall had everything designed for kids. Bright colors, themed cafes, indoor rides, fake streets with plastic trees. Everything was scaled down, like a model city. I was dropped off around 11 a.m. to join the other tourist kids at the indoor playground. One of those multi-level play structures built into the slide of the mall. Padded walls, plastic tunnels, bright colors everywhere. At that age, it felt like its own city within a city. A small plastic one where gravity worked differently and time didn't apply. While most of the other kids were herded into the ball pit under the tired watch of a few Thai workers, making sure no one shoved anything into their nose or mouth, I didn't want to sit in a pit of sweat, damp plastic spheres with 15 other screaming children, as I was a little older than most of them. Instead, I drifted to the back of the structure where it was quieter. There were so many toys, foam stairs, rope bridges, and a tunnel that led behind one of the fake shop facades. There was so much to do, and I just got lost in my little world. When lunch rolled around, and the workers began rounding everyone up in the main pit area, I wasn't there to be counted. I didn't even hear them call us. I was too far in the back. Nobody double-checked. Eventually I got hungry, but by the time I started making my way back towards the main area, it was quiet. At first, I thought I was in the wrong section. I walked through the little storefronts and bridges again. Still no one. The snack kiosk was still lit. The toy rental counter still had boxes out, but no workers, no kids. They had shut off the play and forgot to tell the lights. That's when it started to feel off. I truly wonder how big that place actually was. As I had been there for what felt like an hour and did not even know if I had seen all of it yet. Eventually someone did come back. A caretaker. There was no apology. She said it was bad to leave the group, which caused me not to tell my parents about it. And as a matter of fact, I didn't tell anyone, which was probably what they intended. I did not know I was lost, and this is the first time that I've shared that story. Liminal spaces don't ask for attention, and maybe that's why they stand out in a world that won't stop moving, a world in which attention is currency. But these places do the opposite. They can stop you, and if you pay attention, they can change you. There's value in the abandoned, the overlooked, the quiet. There's beauty in spaces that were never meant to be the destination. The dull lighting, the infinite carpet stretching past retail units that don't exist anymore, these things aren't trying to be aesthetic. They're a part of the journey. It's okay to be in the in-between. It's okay to get lost. It's okay to sit for a moment in a place that feels wrong and to admire it anyway. There's always something worth holding on to. To finish the video, a quote from the French novelist Marcel Proust fits perfectly. The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes.